What's good, YouTube? Trizzy Gang in the hood. Trizzy Gang was good, family. Listen, man, a lot of y'all have been requesting this for some time. And I'm gonna be so honest with y'all. It's been in my playlist for a while now. I just was like, bro, let me find a time where I could watch the whole thing. But I had to sit there and really think about it. Why would I have to watch the whole thing in one setting when I can make 2 videos out this motherfucker? So that's exactly what we're gonna do. So for this video, we got the Billie Eilish and FINNEAS Hit Me Hard and Soft interview. Like I said, it's been my playlist for a while, but I'm gonna split into 2 parts. We're gonna react to the first 30 minutes of this, and then we're gonna react to the last 30 minutes, and then a separate video. You know what I mean? Maybe I might pull it on the Patreon, maybe I might not, just depending on how the feedback I get from this video. So if you like it, man, share it with your friends, bro. You can get both parts on YouTube. Regardless, even if it's on the Patreon, I'll put it up probably for free or maybe not. Like I say, show me support, show me feedback. I'll know what I want to do with it at that point. But anyways, man, like I said, a lot of y'all were requesting this, so I had to get it up out the way, you know what I'm saying? We got the interview. I don't want to talk too much. Like I said, we're going to be reacting to 30 minutes of it. Make sure you have your popcorn, your snacks, bro. We just hit 4K, man. We're on the road to 10K. New channels in the description down below. Make sure you go get that. Actually, before we get to this video, hold on, y'all. I got to make sure I upload another video. Hold on. All right, y'all. We back. Got my video uploaded.
I've just got to talk about every song.
Off the bat, we seeing Billie's sexy ass, man.
Same.
I don't have shit to do.
I love your space, bro.
Thanks, man.
It's kind of perfect.
It's great.
They move my camera, though.
Is everyone good? Mike good?
Move my camera, right? Should I?
We were brutal the whole year we were making this.
Oh my God.
About like drilling deeper.
And what was really different was that we kind of went against our comfort zone. I remember there was one night, it was like raining or something, and
Remember that
FINNEAS
too.
and I had like
A big fight.
I thought they was holding hands for a
fight.
second.
FINNEAS was like, I don't like doing this anymore. I don't want to write music right now.
I remember like we just had this argument of me being like, just say how you feel and let's write a song about whatever you're scared about.
And I think that this was like the first.
Billie looking beautiful as always. I'm probably gonna move my camera, y'all. Let me just move it real quick. All right, move screens and shit, whatnot. All right, let me just play this while I'm doing this.
Day really that I was able to be honest.
All right.
Which is crazy. We've
Fit,
been listening
snap, as
to Billie
always.
Eilish search for
Let me lock in,
honesty
though.
since day one, as a young superstar landing on the world stage in the biggest possible way. And ever since then, we've all been awarding and rewarding them because their music and the art they make is so honest
Oh, I
and
just
so
want to take
creative
this
and
time,
brilliant.
bro. I just want
But
to
that
take this
doesn't
time
mean there is
to make sure y'all like the video. Make sure y'all like the video. Make sure y'all subscribe, bro. We on the road to 10K. Like, if I didn't say that in the intro, I'm saying it now. Make sure y'all do it, bro. Like, I ain't gonna lie to you. We trying to grow the channel, man.
road
Trying
to
grow.
run. And the fact that we have a brand new Billie Eilish album, and both FINNEAS and Billie in FINNEAS' studio for our longest, most
Up now.
comprehensive conversation yet means there's so much more to say in the music and right now.
Bro, why is she looking at me
So
like
much
that,
more
bro?
to-
She got us. All right, this isn't about Billie's looks. It's about the interview. Tell her to focus on the interview.
Say
Come on,
in
lock
the
in.
music and right now.
Lock in. Y'all lock in too.
I feel like we traveled all over the world at various points, which I've loved. And long may that continue, by the way. Let's go somewhere
know.
else. But just to come home, I've kind of like low-key, no, high-key, been dying to come into this space and hang out with you in this room, or a room like this. It was very different last time. Probably not that much bigger, though, because this isn't huge.
No.
Super small.
That's
Yeah.
studio?
Do you need that?
That's what I recorded.
I don't think we need it, but I like efficiency. This is also like, this is the basement of my house. It's a room I have.
snap.
And yeah, you know, we just filled it with tools. The room we're in right now basically existed when we made Billie's second album. We finished her second album. Almost immediately a pipe burst above this room and fully flooded the studio. Like completely destroyed.
Irreparable
Nah, that's
equipment.
crazy.
Had to be fully, the equipment almost all survived, just
But the
miraculously.
room.
But the room
That's
was
God.
destroyed and had to be like aired out and hot fans on it for days so mold didn't grow.
Crazy.
And it had to be completely rebuilt. And
Jeez.
we rebuilt it pretty similarly, which was a good sort of indicator that it was effective for us. But I think on this album cycle, the big change was there's a couch off camera right there. And Billie spent the last album sitting on the couch recording vocals, and Billie spent this album sitting like right here with this microphone, and we just were like
side
pilots,
by side.
pilots
That's so
in an
crazy. You would think
airplane.
they're
Just, like,
like
Honestly,
fleet
specimen-
co-pilot
It was
thing.
so side by side, and even a lot of times when I was working on vocals and stuff, Phineas was there and I was here.
That's totally
so we
true.
just totally switched spots, which is really sweet.
I did listen to the first album again the other day, and the
Bro, life isn't fair, bro. It isn't fair, bro. It isn't like why can't I be sitting right next to her right now, bro? Like,
opening, which seemed charming back then, is like now one of the greatest album openings of all time, because it's the most honest teenage representation of a record ever. And I thought, oh, maybe I'll talk to
her
them
flowers.
about that through this lens just once, and just say, okay, if you could like go back in time and walk in the room, like listen through the door and be like, oh my God, there's young Phineas and young Billy making that record, and they're fucking around trying to figure it out, and you kick the door in, what would you say to them based on what you know now?
I don't even know. I mean, do you have any idea what you would even say to us both?
It would be interesting to feel the energy of two people who are like very unaware
okay.
of
What's to come?
the thing that they're doing
I
being
mean,
meaningful to
bro,
other
y'all
people.
really gotta think about it though. They don't know what's to come though. Like they really don't know what's to come, bro. They just making music because that's what they love to do. Out of nowhere, blow up on that motherfucker, bro. That shit crazy, really, for real.
I certainly wouldn't want to mess it up. I wouldn't want to go.
No,
and
I
get
kind
in
of
their
might
heads.
just hear up against the door and then
Yeah.
walk away.
If that's what
I
they're
would
talking
want to
about.
maybe peek in, but I think that,
Keep it vicarious.
yeah.
Anything that I could say of like, you know, don't be so stressed out or whatever. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, you know, you can tell. You could probably the closest you could get is probably quietly whisper to each other, "Hold on tight," you know. But you can't try to tell someone to avoid what's going to happen, regardless, because it all adds up to this moment, and it all adds up
I
to
know.
Do we talk about the thing?
The thing?
The thing. Do we talk about it? The game.
Zane knows the game.
Have we played? Do the
I
cameras
don't
know
know
the
if
game?
the cameras know the
Okay.
game. Phineas and I created a game. And it
I know the
has, you know the game.
Yeah, but share the game.
It's
a good game.
It's an amazing game. This was created
About a year
you know.
ago. I feel like.
No, it was like the end of last year.
Oh, you're right. It was like the fall of last year.
Yes.
Yeah,
So this is, and
under a year.
since then, this is a game we've shared with
Everyone
everyone we know, and like every artist and everyone in the music industry.
just to haunt them.
It's just good to be aware of. So it's a game called Fear or Fart.
Right.
Okay, and basically,
How did it
well,
arise?
well,
Fear of fart is
Yeah.
crazy.
give them full detail, but basically we were sitting at this
what?
computer, and the thing is, like, when we would get here to like work, it wasn't like, you know, walking in and like, all right, you know, let's get to work. It was like we hang out. We're buds, like we're
Yeah.
siblings.
Yeah,
we
it's
like
fun.
to hang out. And
We don't live together anymore, so now we got to catch up.
I know we have to catch up. We have to talk, whatever. So we'll do whatever we need to do before we start making music. And sometimes it's like hang out upstairs, eat, play, whatever.
I'm glad Phineas like you know what I'm saying admitted it, and you know what I'm saying admitted it to the world that he no longer lives with his sister, and now it's me and her that have our own foundation. Like I'm glad he was able to say it and not try to keep it, you know what I'm saying, a secret no more. I'm glad. I appreciate it, Phineas.
Whatever. And sometimes it's like YouTube, whatever it is. And we were in here and we were like looking at
Happier than
just
ever.
different albums and stuff.
Yeah.
And I think that we started playing like some music, and I remember Phineas going like, "Oh, this guy liked the smell of his own farts," and I was like, "Oh, it's so interesting." Like, yeah, for sure he does. Like he really was loving how it was smelling. And then we were going through all these albums that we know and kind of labeling them as like, oh, did this person like their smell their own farts when they were in the middle of making this?
Right.
And then we got to some people and I was like, what about them? And Phineas goes, no, that's fear. And so then we decided we realized that every single thing in the universe can be put in one or the other
And
category.
the fun
Just to be really clear, is fear
or fart.
or fart.
Here's the caveat: both could be good
Both
or
are
bad.
amazing or terrible.
Yes.
Has nothing to do with
Because
good or
like
bad.
there's been some great farts.
You can, yeah,
been some
100%. There,
great
you can make a
farts.
great album and know that it's great. You can make it and be like, I'm so awesome,
I'm
and
on
it can be
fire.
good. And also sometimes
Now
it
I'm
can
gonna
get
speed
in the
this
way
up,
and it
y'all.
can, you know, promote
Hopefully it's
some
not
like
too fast.
laziness or whatever.
If it's too fast,
Fear
we're going
can
back.
super get in your own way and prevent you from taking risks. So it was like, when we say it, it's like, we really mean no offense of like,
It's more just like, you know, fear is like, you know, second guessing yourself and not feeling like you totally know what you're doing, or you feel like it might not be. It's just second guessing, you know, and then fart is the kind of like, no.
All right.
I got this.
When we all fall asleep.
Dude, that analogy is so crazy. I ain't even gonna lie to y'all, bro. But I get what they're trying to say, bro. Fart is more of like a, you know what I mean? How do I say it? Fart is more of like a, fuck, it was just on the tip of my tongue. Pause, no Diddy Baby Oil. Hold on. I had it. It's more assertive, you know what I'm saying? Fart is more assertive rather than fear, you know what I'm saying, holding it in, you know what I'm saying? Kind of like what she said.
fear, 100% fear. Yeah.
Big fear, yeah.
Funny because I definitely smell some fart on that album.
No, that's just
That's
farty
crazy.
teenagers. that's just
crazy.
teenagers.
We just thought we were
Bad guy's quite smelly.
we thought we were funny.
But bad guy's not real.
We thought we were
No,
funny.
it's not real, but it definitely walks like it's fucking real.
Yes, but bad guy was still made out of fart.
Yeah,
Sorry,
I mean,
sorry.
out of fear.
It smells like fart, but it is fear.
But it's made out. Okay, good. That's good. That's a new.
And then, so the thing
subcategory.
is, we bring this up because we determined that "Happier Than Ever" is the fart album of ours. It is a fart album. It
I
is.
hear fear on that record.
Oh,
And again, there are things we're super proud of on Happy Than Ever, but
Happier Than Ever, bro. It's a mix of both, in my opinion. It's a mix of both. How about y'all, bro? Y'all comment down below what y'all think. I think it's a mix of both, man. Like, it's fear, but it's also some fart in that motherfucker. Like, you can tell she came, they came, you know what I'm saying? Pause. Hey, yo. No, baby Diddy Oil. But she came pretty correct on that, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, she was branching out, trying different sounds and stuff like that.
I know from thinking back and thinking about the year we made that album, that it was two people who had just been told the nicest things imaginable, and we sat around making these songs.
Right.
And I know from remembering it that we sat around being like,
this
we
is
are
amazing.
so,
We are so good. It's
And,
amazing.
and like,
That's all you can
and there
think,
are
man.
things from a
Shit.
production standpoint, there are songs where like we'd work on something for one day and I'd be like,
Smashed it.
done.
Yes.
And I think that's like, again, it's like,
Yeah.
I would tell people not to overthink stuff, but I don't think that's not overthinking it. I think it was a kind of a,
Smelling your own fart.
yeah, just sort of feeling really full of yourself or cocky.
Which I think it can be fine. Again, it's
Yeah.
totally fine. It's just that I think for that one we just didn't put that much into
We didn't
it.
push
Like,
ourselves in a way.
That's why there's like 16.
So
Nobody
many
needs
songs.
That many songs.
Yeah.
Well, that's kind of where the fear comes in. So I think fear shows itself on that album in hindsight. Because I listen to this album now, and I think about the people who are making Happier,
Yeah.
and I'm like, I don't
You're
know.
so onto something, because it's true that as much as Happier Than Ever was coming from this place of like, we're so good, we get, you know, this sounds so good, we are so good.
Yeah.
It was also, at least for me, like not knowing at all who I was or who I was.
Identity
Bro,
crisis.
what did I tell you, bro? This is how I know my woman, bro. So you know I know my woman, bro. I can tell you, bro. I tell you, man. She was definitely like in the like mix of trying to figure out who the hell she was, bro. You could tell in the music transitioning, the looks transitioning, all of it, bro. You could tell, bro. She was trying to figure out who the hell she was, man. I knew it, bro. I literally called it.
And what's interesting is that Hit Me Hard and Soft is almost the reverse of that, where we were making it and it was like, you know, we were kind of like this the whole time, like,
Which
I
is
don't know if
crazy.
I'm making anything good. Like, this might be terrible. And then now when I think about it, I'm like, yeah, but
Bro,
I'm.
it's always the artist thinking they making some shit when they making some gas. For real though. I know I'm not lying. I'm an artist myself, bro. I hear people tell me all the time. I'm not lying, y'all, bro. Bro, if you go on my Apple Music right now, listen to a lot of my songs, you know what I'm saying? It's a lot of my old songs, you know what I'm saying? A lot of stuff on there, it was good for its time period. Now, like, I really don't like them songs. But, like, and there's a lot of songs that I'm holding back that are unreleased, bro. Some hits. I got some hits on my hands. I ain't gonna lie to y'all, bro. I'm holding them back. And I play them for people, and they be like, bro, this shit is smacked, and you gotta do something about it. I'm like, bro, that's the fear. I don't got no fart in those songs, but those were fear songs. You know what I'm saying? So, I don't know, man. It's just something with artists, bro. I don't
comfortable
know.
in
It's
who
weird.
I am now, and I feel like I know
weird,
who I
it's so
am now.
weird.
I think that this album is like the biggest example of, or not example, but I think this is like the most me thing that I've ever made, and I think that it's so purely me and not any sort of character really.
Which was hard to do. We were brutal the whole year we were making this
Oh my God.
about like drilling deeper into the essence of like who are you as a
Because
person.
otherwise, why,
You heard that in the
because otherwise,
intro?
why do it, right? At the end of
Why
the day,
do it?
What's the most simple reason to show up again, to make another album?
100%.
I know. I think what was cool also about the making of this one was that we started working on it before we were like told
I'm gonna
to.
stop pausing y'all,
And
bro.
that was like a conscious Phineas thing. Like he was like, hey, we should like make some music before anybody is like, hey, you know, you should probably do it, you know? And I think that made it so that we could be creative and not have like this like pressure and like kind of people talking in our ears and our heads. And I think that that was really nice.
It's a really, and I don't know if you meant it this way, but it's a really shrewd kind of psychological twist on how you approach your music, because it kind of takes you back to before.
Yeah.
Without having to talk about it, without having to go, man, wouldn't it be great if we could just go back to when it was so easy? The amount of times I've spoken to artists and they're like, man, sometimes I just wish I could go back to when it was just a simpler time. And as soon as you say that, you can't. But if you unlock it in a way by saying, hey, we can just start.
Yep.
We just do it.
We just do it.
What we've always done is we do a song and basically finish it and move on to another song and basically finish it and do that over and over. And then, you know, by the time an album is done, there's songs that are like...
Bro, she's so fucking bad. Bro, I'm not tripping, bro. I'm not. How many Billie Eilish videos have we done and we still are talking about this, bro? How many? Huh? Bro, it don't make sense no more, bro. It doesn't make sense, dude.
Over a year old, and then songs that are like a month old, and you're like, well, the listener is gonna think this is all one, you know, this all came out in the same, was created at the same time, but really it's like kind of doing this. And what was really different this time around, which was extremely frustrating but very rewarding, was that we really did not do that. We kind of went against our comfort zone and like what we did was we would, and this was like Finneas's idea, which I really am grateful that he came up with that, because what we would do is we would be in here and we would come up with some idea, and as soon as it would be like, he'd be like, all right, let's do something else. Let's put this away and let's like work on something else. And so you'd be like creating, hit a little lull, and as soon as that would happen, he's like, all right, this one. Or
Give you some room to be excited about it still.
I know, but then it made it so that we didn't have a full song to listen to for
months.
That's really tricky. That's a tricky decision to make.
Yes.
Because you have to make sure that when, at the point where you come back together, in a particular Billie, that she's going to be as excited about it in that moment as she was a month ago or 2 months ago. And not, you're risking that, man. What if she comes back and she's like, oh God, I don't know, that vocal doesn't feel right to me anymore, or I've lost the feeling of this.
I think you're totally right. And part of that, maybe in a perverse way, was like, let's be that cutthroat. If she's not interested in this in 3 weeks, then
it was almost,
let's give it up.
Almost a reverse.
And there were
I'm applauding you, bro, because that is
it was a great idea.
In a
that's
couple
something, bro.
instances.
That's a crazy dedication. Y'all just don't understand too, bro. Like my homie, shout out Khalil, bro. I had a homie, bro. I mean, he's still my homie, but we used to make hella music together. You know what I'm saying? He used to engineer for me with my songs and things like that. And bro, there were so many times where we did a song together, we didn't finish it, bro. We would like literally just scratch the shit. Like sometimes, bro, there's probably definitely files and me and him have a song that we would make it together. Even just when he was recording for me, personally, just myself. You know what I'm saying? Like I just did not finish and I just scratched it, never came back to it. And that's what's, I got a lot of songs on my phone in itself that are not finished. Probably will never get finished no more because I don't really have that like feeling for it no more. You know what I'm saying? Initially that I had. So yeah, bro, it's all part of
There were things where we'd like work on it and be very amped on the day and come back to it and go like,
for the song Blue. So there's a whole backstory on that song.
Yeah.
Which a lot of people know.
No, let's go reverse. I love that.
Very,
okay, where we
very
start.
excited.
Let's start again.
Well, I just bring it up because we really wanted to rewrite everything but the chorus, and we didn't really want to like redo the whole song. We kind of just wanted to like have the hook and like some sort of verse. But we made that song when I was 14, and Ocean Eyes had just gone out when I was like 15.
Hold on, y'all. All right, y'all, my bad. We back now. We like
anyway,
that.
the lyrics have just kind of aged, whatever. We just wanted to rewrite them for lots of reasons. And there was one day that we sat here and we rewrote those lyrics for like 6 hours straight.
we wrote several verses.
And we wrote many verses and many versions of each verse. And it was so tedious and hard. And we did not take a break. And we were like, no, we need to rewrite it. Like, we'll get there. And we eventually finished it. And I was driving home, and you and I were like, so glad we did that. And when I was driving home and I listened to it, I was like, these are like some of the worst things. And that's a kind of example of not taking time with it.
Yeah.
And being like, no, just
gotta push it.
know?
So
and sometimes that can be great, but sometimes it's very clear that it's like, oh, I need a second.
It's so interesting that song, the first half of that song is like it's like an end credits. It's like all these little moments, these phrases, you know, open up the door and like
that. So
birds
that
of a
verse,
feather, and it's just like, whoa,
so
I'm
the
still
verse
here.
that we ended up writing references every single song on the album. So even if it's not like super obvious, it's still a reference.
This is before you end the album with one of the biggest downers of one of the best albums ever created. It's such a downer end. It's such a downer.
Well, let me explain.
That last was crazy.
It's so funny to think about it that way.
I want to explain Blue really quick for those that don't know. Basically, the first kind of quarter of that song is a song that Phineas and I made when I was 14 and he was 18, called True Blue. And for like the first concerts we ever did, like remember we did like
played it at, it's a school night.
we did it school night and like Tenants of the Trees or some nonsense. Like played it at different little clubs. Before I had really anything out, I had like maybe Ocean Eyes out, maybe not even anything else.
Yeah.
But we kind of just put it away and never.
There's a bunch of references to it in the doc on the album.
Right,
We're
yeah.
like, maybe we just put True Blue on the
We were
album.
like, gonna put it out, but we never did because it just didn't. It kind of aged out of what we wanted to be making, and years went by, and
We stopped talking about it completely.
completely never brought it up.
And then we were working on the
at
second
some
album.
point, well, we were working on the second album, and then separately paused that part. On the second album, we were working on all the songs that are in that one, plus a song called Born Blue, which is like a completely different thing than True Blue. It wasn't even in the thought of it. And that was a song that was like written about a very specific
thing.
that we want, whatever. But that was going to be on Happier Than Ever, and we kind of just like couldn't really crack it, and it didn't really.
It was a time thing. It was a crunch time thing where
you
we
go.
were
No more
we
crunch
picked 16 songs to be on the album.
16, and that's not.
And we had
making the
things we
cut.
loved about Born Blue.
But there was only like a verse. Like we barely made that song.
You don't have time to finish at this point.
Yes.
Everybody,
No, we don't.
let's go.
Yeah.
Got the 16 albums done.
So we did the same thing. We took it and we went like, think, bye,
First time someone's
and never
putting
thought of
in
it
the
again.
fast version.
And then in 2022, I remember like doing my laundry or something alone, and I don't know, I was like on TikTok or something, and suddenly True Blue has been just like leaked. Like,
Can I just ask
it
you how you
became a
reacted
trend.
in that moment in the
How
laundry?
does that? She gotta explain how that happens though. Like, did you send it to folks? Like, how did it get leaked though? That's the real question.
If you could take us to that exact moment,
I
you
just
see
was
it.
like, I was like, well, this is like, I don't like the way that, you know, it's like, I don't know, it's hard to explain. Like,
Yeah.
it's an unfinished thing
Yeah.
that I never wanted to come out.
Yeah.
Whatever, I'm not complaining, whatever, because it was kind of cool after a second.
mean,
I was like, I had my initial like, oh God, they fucking stole my shit again.
Yeah.
And then I was like, whatever, it's kind of cool, whatever. And then,
Like, how can you like? How could one ever like lose her? You know what I'm saying? Obviously, Billie's been with folks before in the past, bro. How do you let go of somebody like her, man? Boy, you done fucked up, bro, because you gave it to a real one. You know what I'm saying?
But you started to appreciate it. This is the other thing.
then I started to appreciate it, and then I was like, True Blue, I haven't listened to it in so long. So I go on YouTube and I'm like, Billie Eilish True Blue, and I find all the rips of it. I just couldn't
I'll have
stop
to listen to
listening
it, though.
to this song. I didn't even have a version. I didn't even have the original version.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I just was like, dude, I remember hitting Phineas up and I was like, the song is actually like really got something. And I see it now. Like I didn't see it for many years and now I see it. And so when we were working, we kind of came in here and we we just tried to rework it. And it took a second.
The verses never felt right
The
again.
verses never felt right, and we kind of just we couldn't really crack it. And then we were just doing it one day, and then Phineas started changing the chords, and I started just singing Born Blue. And then we kind of had this like realization, like, oh, you know what would be cool? We took both of these old songs that
Resurrected
were
them.
completely different parts of our lives, and resurrected them and made them into one song called Blue, and rewrote the verse, and then wrote the rest of Born Blue. And then
Born Blue is the second half of that song where it slows down and it gets. That's the downer.
yeah,
right.
That's the downer.
That's the downer.
And then we tied both of those together and added the motif, the string motif that
Which
had
is
become.
so-
And the string motif, if you haven't noticed, is the melody from the bridge of The Greatest.
Yeah.
Which is also in Skinny, which starts the album.
Yeah.
So then it also ends the
And
album.
let's not forget that
Bro, these two are some geniuses. I'm being so honest. Bro, they're some geniuses, bro. Whole album was. Go watch my reaction, bro. Y'all know it's on the channel, man. They're some geniuses.
Blue
For real.
starts where
Bittersweet.
Bittersweet.
leaves off.
Ends.
Yeah, we ended Bittersweet with the melody of the beginning
Blue.
of True Blue,
Yeah.
and then it goes into it. It kind of became like,
This is your Sgt. Pepper, isn't it?
yeah,
Yes.
for sure. I mean, I really, like, we had a lot
We
of
really wanted
conversations
to make an album.
going into this about
Album.
how satisfying. I mean, listen, here's the deal. Like, your attention span is what it is. It's not, I think people throw a lot of flack at kids and society and the modern, style of consuming anything. I don't think attention spans have gotten shorter. I think the things we're consuming have changed a lot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so to me, if we're going to make a 44-minute album and expect people to have the attention span that they had in the 90s
Yeah.
or the 80s and 70s,
You gotta make it to where you feeding them with everything they want. You know what I'm saying? People, because I ain't gonna lie, Phineas just kind of hit the nail on that one, bro. It really ain't about people's attention spans being shorter nowadays. Folks just like if somebody says their attention span for something isn't good, they just don't care about it enough. You know what I mean? They're not really interested enough, bro. So like, I think what he's trying to say with the album is, you know, with like, unless they're like, if they're talking about like the transitions and things like that, and how certain songs started off with the same melody as the other one, and they kind of tied together and all these things, just to keep folks engaged. You know what I'm saying? To keep folks on their heels. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what I think he's trying to say.
Let's make an album that is made with the same level of care and attention.
It's true.
See what I'm saying? Oh my gosh, bro. I really be knowing this ish, bro. I'm trying to tell y'all, bro. I really be knowing this shit, bro. I'm not lying, man. I really be knowing this shit.
Album is like,
Bro, if some of y'all might not know, bro, a little Q&A about me, bro. I used to want to be, you know what I'm saying, like A&R, you know what I'm saying, for like artists before I really like was being serious about my own shit. I mean, still nowadays, bro, I would try to be a music A&R, bro. These are things that I would tell my artists, bro. You gotta make music like that people care about, bro. It can't just be to make music, you know what I'm saying? It can't just be like you as a like people gotta fuck with you, bro. It can't just like, or else you're not gonna be able to keep people's attention, bro. And that's why I like how he just said that, man. I'm telling you, bro, I know what I'm talking about, bro.
Let's make an album that is made with the same level of care and attention.
It's true.
an album
was
is like
happening then.
stimulating.
But it's kind of true. Like if you think about like the way that we consume television shows, if it's great, like if it's truly great, we're gonna watch it all the way through.
We all
I'm
know
saying.
you know, that nobody complains about something amazing being too long.
That's true.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
What's also great about this is it's concise in terms of the number of songs.
So,
but
hey,
the
bro, so if
songs-
somebody says they don't like this shit, can't keep their attention, bro, this is like a YouTube video for me, bro. If I can't watch a YouTube, if I think YouTube video is kind of boring or some shit, bro, like I'm not gonna watch the whole thing through, bro. I'm gonna chop it up, bro. I'm gonna be so real with you. I'm not saying this is boring because I hadn't watched it before I started this video. You know what I'm saying? But like, it's an interview. I can't sit for an hour straight and watch an interview. My attention span is not that good on an interview. Just hearing people talk. I gotta see action. I gotta see things happening. You know what I'm saying? Not just hearing people talk. The reason why there's a part 2 to this. You know what I'm saying? Coming out. You feel me? It's just like
stretch
that.
out and live with themselves and know themselves beautifully. In fact, one of the only concise moments is the first song. Everything else, I mean, that's a very concise message, right, that you're saying. And there's so much I love about that song. I said to someone here before, I don't know if you're making up with yourself or breaking up with us. I think it's probably both.
wow. Beautiful way to put it,
I
Dan.
think it's probably both, you know, and I think it's captured the bittersweetness of both. There's a bittersweet experience of getting to know yourself again. There's a bittersweet experience of saying, hey, everything has a season. And it's just, oh my God, it's so great. You know, but the old me is the real me, and maybe it's still me, and I think she's pretty. Must have been quite an impactful moment for you, just realizing, just seeing those words on paper or putting them on wherever they need to go.
Yeah. That song
I'll put them
was,
on the track.
I mean, that was like the first full song that we wrote for the album. And it was, do you remember that song was like born out of kind of us having a weird, our lives were really different, and I was kind of going through something, and Phineas, like, it was just, we were in like a very different place.
Out of sync.
Really out of sync.
Yeah.
And we were working during that, but we couldn't, I mean, we were coming up with like pieces of stuff. And of course, now when I look back at what we were coming up with, it was
Great.
the chorus of Lunch and the bridge of Chihiro. But at the time, it didn't,
was
there was
fragments.
nothing to
How
tell
did
us
she
what
pronounce
was
that?
of Lunch and the
yeah.
bridge of Chihiro. But at the
Chihiro. Okay, Chihiro.
time, it didn't,
was
there was
fragments.
nothing to tell us what was that it was
Yeah, I
going
was
to
over
be
here
great
saying
eventually.
Cheerio and shit.
And so we felt kind of like, what are we doing? Like, I don't know how we're going to do this. And I remember there was one night, it was like raining or something, and
Remember that
Phineas and
too.
I had like a
big fight.
about
Context and subject matter was the big fight. We'd been writing these fragments of stuff, and I
Phineas could not.
and again, like, this is, I've been proven wrong over and over, but this was the jag I was on that night. Was like, I was like,
Jag? I've never heard that.
subject-wise, I'm not being let into what you're actually feeling. And I think that there are real guards. Oftentimes in your life, you're going through the thing that you're going to write about later. And that was for sure happening to Billie at that point in time, where I'd be like, what's this about? And she'd be like, nothing. And I remember, like, we just had this argument of me being like, just say how you feel, and let's write a song about whatever you're scared about feeling.
Well, and also, not to throw you under the bus, but Phineas was like, I don't like doing this anymore. I don't want to write music right now. Like,
That's true.
You know, and this was really scary for me at the time because, as you know, I used to be like, hate
That.
making music, don't want to make it, don't like making it.
That's so
it's frustrating,
crazy.
it's irritating. I love having made it, I love performing it, I love, you know, when it's good, but I really have
Process.
always struggled with the process. And this was when
You were enjoying the
I
process
was kind of
suddenly.
finally enjoying the process, and Phineas was like, I would rather be doing anything else right now. And it was very interesting because I saw myself in acts. I was like, I have felt that way, but now, and you have always been the thing that keeps the ship moving. And
That's
now
so crazy.
you feel that way. And like, what does that mean for us? And what are we gonna do? And I think Phineas also had this kind of totally understandable thing just repeating in his head of like, I have nothing to say. How could I say anything with the life that I live that anyone could relate to, that I wouldn't sound like a huge
pompous douche? I think that, and also when we're talking about being out of sync, like my whole strength as a collaborator with any artist, and it's always been kind of innate with Billie because we've shared so much, is I do have to understand that person to be able to feel like I'm providing something.
It's a really valuable moment, though, for the two of you, because on the one hand, you get to actually acknowledge something which you probably needed to hear from him, which is like, I don't have all the answers and I'm not here to protect the process. Like, I'm struggling with this, which is big for your growth, too. It's like, well, hang on. I got to ask myself how much I really want to do this, and can I bring him back into this in a good way? The other part of it as well is that, you know, you are now in a situation where you get to control how much you unveil until you're ready. Right? Because you've been so pressured to tell us your truth, Billie. You're successful now. Write another song, Billie. Make another album, Billie. Feed us your emotions, Billie. You know, and it's like, you're like, hang on, I don't know if I'm ready, from what he's telling you're telling me, to actually share that. Yeah, it's a crazy.
Well, and also I think that it's really hard to see what's going on until it's over in a lot of ways. And I think for me, you know, he was like, just be honest with me, tell me what's going on. And I literally was like, I don't even know how to describe. I don't know what's good or bad right now. Like, I can't tell. And then it's like, when you look back on it, you go, oh, that's what was going on. And that's what I was feeling. But I will say that his kind of, Finneas also like really made a big effort in the process to like let me kind of lead the way in a lot of ways.
100%.
And Finneas would, and that was so terrifying at first because, you know, we've been making music for years, and I've been shy and not very quick with it. And like, I've never felt like confident as a songwriter, and he is so good that it's like hard to.
How many songs do y'all? I don't know if this is just public information. How many songs do y'all think like Finneas writes for Billie? How many songs? Or let me not say that. How many songs do y'all think Billie writes herself, and Finneas just probably helps with a few things? Y'all comment down below that, bro.
Compete with, honestly. And he would sit there and kind of be quiet
and play the guitar chord over and over,
and not say anything or give any ideas, and I'd be like, oh my, like, I don't even know what I'm supposed to do
really
right
going
now.
on in here.
And it pushed me to like actually do so much. And so for this album, this was the most I've ever written.
Contributed.
Really?
And I did some production.
Bro, that album is motherfucking crazy. Birds of a feather, we should stick together. And I said I never thought might be forever, buddy. Oh, come on, man.
Stuff even, and I did all my own vocals. And
the reason behind that for me was that her
that's crazy though. I ain't gonna lie.
ideas had become more and more concrete. She just had more.
They weren't good before.
Well, it's the difference between somebody giving a really good suggestion and somebody giving her like a full plan, you know.
Yeah.
And I think it was also a place of like, there were years, if I go back to the first couple years of like co-writing with anyone, like, I wanted to be useful so bad. I wanted Billie to come over and feel like I had value. And I think oftentimes, and I've worked with other people like this, and I always give them the same piece of advice of like, if you steamroll, if the best idea is going to take 10 minutes longer, shut up and let it take 10 minutes. Do you know what I mean? Like, don't rattle off 30 bad ideas in 10 minutes. I'm not saying that my ideas are all bad, but I just mean like, I really love Billie's ideas, and I don't care if she is maybe going to take a couple more minutes to think about them than my idea that is or isn't good. So I want to leave oxygen.
Yeah. That's a great way of putting it.
And so that happened, but I think it was a funny shift in our dynamic.
It was very different.
Where I'd be sitting there playing, and Billie would be like, you're not even saying anything. And I'd be like, wait. And then what would happen, and it was so beautiful, and Skinny is the best example of this, is like, you wait and you wait and you wait. And then Billie says something that's so great. And then I know exactly how to help. I know exactly where the missing thing is because we're so on the same page with it.
Finneas is so good at that. Like, I'll come up with all these ideas and these lyrics and melodies that are tight and they're great, and there's like this and this and this and this, and then there's like one thing that I need. I'm like, I really don't know what this is. And Finneas will just be like, what if he said this? And it's like the best lyric of the whole song. And actually, that line you just brought up was that moment.
That's
how
it be.
I knew exactly what we were both feeling and how she was feeling, and it was just kind of a rhyme structure.
Well, and also like that line is the kind of thing that is, for me,
bar is what it is.
That song is just bars.
Bar after bar after bar.
But like, I don't know, that's the kind of thing that there's some things that are really hard to say about yourself.
Yeah.
I was really struggling with this weird,
I'm about to grab me
just
a
like,
fan real quick.
I don't know, everything was weird in my life, and Finneas was like, I was just talking about myself, talking about like who I used to be and the way I used to look and things, and Finneas just was like, the old me is still me, and maybe the real me, and I think she's pretty, you know? And I was like, oh, I do think she's pretty.
here's the thing about lunch, right? We've all read the interview This in Existence right now, and it's a great opening line, and it grabs you, and it's just like, boom, check it out. It's a metaphor for me. It's just about taking control, isn't it, about your life?
Right.
Literal, but also metaphorical.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on in that one.
Yeah, it's a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah, I mean, I remember like one of the verses was written after like a conversation I had with a friend, and they were telling me about this like just complete animal magnetism they were feeling. And I was like, ooh, I'm gonna pretend to be them for a second and just write. I don't know. There's a lot of metaphors and a lot of.
There's also some real power dynamic going on there. There's an exercise of actual power going on there, which is really interesting to me, because it's like, hey, I've played the innocent and trying to figure it all out, and I've tried to make myself look older than I am on the last album and figure out how I am, right? But on this record, it's like, hang on, I'm gonna buy you stuff, and I'm gonna buy the clothes, and I'm gonna leave them on the. And by the way,
Could buy her so much stuff killed me. That was
such a good line.
Such a like.
It's a craving, not a crush.
But the buy her so much stuff was such a funny like.
It's just such a
like actually a feeling, right? Like I could.
I could buy her so much stuff. Like, oh my god, think about all the things I could buy.
Yeah, and that line has very little to do with money and a lot to do with just like wanting to just give somebody stuff.
The line that is like, bad guy grew up and got money, is like, I'll put the clothes.
Oh yeah.
That's just control.
Right. I'll run a shower for you.
And leave the clothes. Yeah.
Clothes on the counter.
On the counter for you.
And if I'm allowed.
Exactly. And then it's like, oh, but hang on, it's all cool. Like it's a fascinating song.
Man. Don't make me
and it's one of those moments where I think it's you at your playful best, playing the character. That's why I brought it back. It is the character. And everyone's so obsessed with the legitimacy of the lyrics, but it's like, hang on, you're missing the point. This is all.
I know. That's kind of.
This is the other. You know, not to compare art or to besmirch stuff that we're proud of.
This is where I'm gonna stop it, y'all. I'm gonna stop it here. So y'all see the timestamp 32:39 is where we're gonna pick it up for the part 2, man. Shout out to everybody, you know what I'm saying, who's gonna tune into this. Hey, like I said, bro, depending on the feedback, the part 2 will either go on the channel again or it's gonna be on my Patreon. I just gotta see, bro. But shout out to everybody who's been rocking with me. Road to 10K, but I love y'all. See you on the next one, man. I'm out this, man.